What's going on, guys? TieFly85 here again.
And I'm TREC87. And today we're back with some more E3 coverage. We wanted to talk to you guys about the Square Enix conference. We are also going to be, just so you know, covering the Microsoft conference that happened yesterday and give our thoughts and opinions on that, as well as the Bethesda conference. But since the Square Enix conference just ended, we figured that would be a good place to start. So, TieFly, if you want to kick it off, I don't know. Did you have any just initial thoughts about the conference?
Do you want my honest thoughts?
Yes, absolutely.
It was complete garbage. It was total shit. I don't understand. Like, what was that? 29 minutes of crap.
Yeah.
For any of you who watched all three of these conferences, I mean, you'll notice that three of the games they showed were also in the Microsoft showcase, and it just why?
Yeah.
Why? It just made no sense. Also, too, why was nobody speaking? There was like maybe 4 people the whole time speaking, maybe.
Oh, and it was never like, I was disappointed it wasn't even live. It was just like all a pre-recorded message. I think that, I feel like with the conference in general, that if you don't have anything new and exciting, which there was a couple little tiny things, I guess, but if you don't have something major to say, like maybe just don't say anything at all and let the other conferences showcase your games, because honestly, I feel like Square Enix ended up coming off worse than they were before after this conference. So let's just go over the games really quick. The first game was Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I love the Tomb Raider series, the rebooted series. I think they're a lot of fun to play. It's a lot like Uncharted. With the trailer they showed, though, there was nothing like new here, though. It was really like same old thing. Laura going through the jungle, killing folks, being stealthy. I mean, she slathered mud on her at one point, and that was cool, I guess. But the enemy, like the AI, they were patrolling like very predictable routes. There wasn't just anything new and exciting there. I wasn't wowed by it at all. I was just like, oh cool, I've seen this before, you know?
Yeah, it definitely seemed very predictable.
Yeah.
It just the second I watched it and it got kind of almost maybe 30 seconds in, I was just like, am I watching a new Tomb Raider game, or is this the same
Right,
Tomb
is
Raider
this
game?
yeah, no doubt. And we can actually even pull up just probably really quickly, just like a clip of it. Let's see here. This might take me a second, folks, just because we are doing it live. Okay, so let me just switch over to this. There is going to be no audio, just because I don't want to get, copy striked, as PewDiePie would say. But it doesn't look new to me. It doesn't look cool. I mean, like, sure, it looks like a Tomb Raider game, but there's nothing new here. There's nothing exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little disappointed with it. I mean, this series was really, I feel like, revolutionary when they first came out with the reboot, but it's getting kind of stale again, and I don't know if it's time to just like let Lara Croft breathe and maybe take a break, or what they need to do. But right here, like this guy right here, he was talking to this other guy that just got killed, and he literally, when he turned back around, he's like, "There's a body here. Looks recent." And I'm like, "Yeah, you were just talking to him, like 30 seconds ago." So, I mean, like, the gameplay looks great, but again, like I said, nothing new and exciting. Pretty similar stuff overall.
Yeah, it definitely does not look like anything new.
Yeah.
There were a few cool little aspects to it, like the scaling and the climbing and stuff, but it's not like anything we haven't seen already.
Yeah, it's the exact same, it's just a little bit underwhelming, I guess. Moving on. The next one, it definitely appeals to like a certain niche of people. I'm one of those people, even though I don't really play it. But there's an update to Final Fantasy XIV, not a new expansion or anything like that. They are showing just basically with the new patch and the new content that they're adding into the game. It did look pretty neat. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy XIV, I think you'll be pleased. At the end of the clip, they showed a crossover with Monster Hunter, which I thought was actually really cool. I'm glad that they're doing that. It's just kind of something fun to throw in the game, basically.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting when I saw that. I was just like, is that Vivi? The costume.
Oh,
the one right there with the magic hat, the mage, like.
Yeah, and so
it looks just like Vivi.
Oh yeah, it totally does. And so, I mean, here, let me throw this up for anybody that hasn't actually seen this. I mean, you got like the dragon from Monster Hunter, which I totally just skipped past. but this is the dragon from Monster Hunter, but obviously it's going to be in Final Fantasy 14. So it's a fun little crossover. I'm glad when they do stuff like this, just to have some fun. So I was pretty pleased about this, and if you haven't tried Final Fantasy 14, if you're an MMO fan, I definitely recommend looking into it because it is a really, really great game. I don't know, Typhoon, I know you're not really into like MMOs so much, so I don't know if you really have an opinion on it other than to say it looked really neat, but
Yeah, no, I mean it does look really cool. You're right. I'm not a huge fan of MMO. I've tried getting into games like that. I couldn't do it.
It takes a certain kind of person, man. You got to really be willing to just like grind it out, and some people love that. The next one was one we already saw, which looks kind of interesting. It was the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Looks like they're definitely going for something heartwarming here. Just kind of like a good little game, and it's gonna be free, I guess, which is the main point of it, which is I think awesome.
So it's basically just about a kid who it's like all about his imagination, and it looked like the story itself is where his mother had passed away, and he's just living with his father, and it looks like his father might be an alcoholic because of the mother passing. So
Right.
it's his way of kind of like dealing with it by having an imagination. So we're kind of like living through his eyes, but also playing as his character.
Right.
So, I mean, it does look pretty interesting. But as far as it goes, I mean, we already saw this game at the other conference.
We already saw it. I mean, yeah, and like I said, if you're not going to bring something new to the table, like maybe just don't have a conference. So this game looks fun. I mean, it's free. I'll probably play it just because it's free. But that's about all I can say for it so far. The next game, which is a JRPG. Dragon Quest XI looks pretty interesting. I think I don't know. I have a couple thoughts about Dragon Quest XI. It looks like a good RPG, but it looks exactly like every other Dragon Quest game I've ever seen. It's just that I don't know. They all look the exact same to me. I've never really gotten into the Dragon Quest series, and it just didn't look that fantastic to me. I don't know. What did you think, Tyler?
I mean, as far as it goes, yeah, it looks pretty generic. I've seen a few of the older ones, sorry, and it looks kind of similar, just a little updated. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not familiar with this series, so I apologize if I offended anybody. But
No, yeah,
I
and
mean, it looks a little more polished. Is really it. It looks identical.
yeah, and people who do like these games, like they have like a devout fan base that like really they really like these games, and so obviously it's gonna do well. But I feel like personally to get me into Dragon Quest, you would have to like I don't know, bring it up, bring something new to the table, change it up a little bit, make the art style different. It doesn't have to be necessarily be more realistic, but like make the game look different. Because like I swear to God, every single main character in this game has had the same haircut the like last 4 games. So not to offend anybody that loves Dragon Quest, I'm sure it's a great game. I mean I always hear good things about it. I just never really got into it either, but it looks good. I think this personally. As far as like what I've seen from Square Enix conference, I think this is probably like their strongest game. And I don't count Kingdom Hearts 3 in the mix just because we've already seen Kingdom Hearts 3 in a different conference. So let's see here. The other one, the next one on the list was a very short snippet called Babylon's Fall. Did you? I don't know if you saw like the little trailer for this, Tyfly.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
this actually looked really interesting.
Yeah, it did. I will say it definitely, out of all the ones that I had seen, this one I was just like, gosh, what is this?
Right,
they're
like
not giving us much. Like, it looks cool, and I want to see more.
Right, absolutely, dude. Like, what is this game? Give me more. Let me see what's going on. You get like the short clip of the game, just kind of going through like world history type stuff, and then this scene right here, I almost want to sit back and let everybody watch it. It looks so cool. Like it just has like fantasy epic awesomeness written all over it, and I'm totally always in for that. So I mean, look at that. It just like split that dude in half. So that was probably one I was actually most interested in. out of any game here because like I said, I'd already seen Kingdom Hearts. And then after that, they brought out Octopath Traveler, which was looks like a retro throwback. Oh, whoop, I think I already skipped it actually. Let's see if we can actually find it. Octopath Traveler. Did you see it? It looked like a little old school RPG almost.
For some weird reason, I don't remember seeing that one.
Okay, I'll find the clip. Actually, Nier Automata is coming to Xbox, and I forgot to mention this.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, so this is coming to Xbox finally. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be really happy about it. It looks like a great game. I haven't personally played it, but it looks really good. It looks like a fun game. It's got a very stylized design, I guess I should say. So that looks really interesting.
Yeah, that drops on June 26th, so that's pretty soon.
Yeah, so it'll be here pretty shortly. The next one here is the Octopath Traveler. It's just like a snippet of a trailer for it, and this looks really cool. I'm really excited for it. I like niche indie, old school looking games like this. I love the art style.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
I didn't remember what it was called, but it totally reminded me of, what's that one game that you really liked, that you played a lot of when you were younger?
Final Fantasy?
No, it looks like Final Fantasy, yes, but it was a Dragon Quest, or, darn, I can't remember. Anyways, it looks like the old school. I do like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I like that the characters look like sprites, and it does look pretty neat. So I am glad about that one as well. Just Cause 4 was the next game, and it looks chaotic and fun, I guess. I mean, I don't know. The Just Cause franchise has never really gripped me. I've never really been interested in it, like one way or the other. And this is one of those games that it looks like a lot of fun, but there's nothing overly special about it to me that makes me want to play it. I don't know. What do you feel, Typefly?
I mean, I did play the original, the first one and the second one, and they were pretty fun. I mean, it definitely looks like they're heading in a crazy direction.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've only ever played the first two, so
right.
I mean, this looks all new to me.
I played, I think, the second one for a minute actually, and it was I don't remember which one it was actually, but basically the game started and you were skydiving. And I died 17 times, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing. And that's actually really what turned me off of the franchise. I couldn't figure out what I was doing, or where I needed to parachute down to, or what needed to happen. But it made me really mad, and I was just okay, I'm done. So it does look chaotic and fun, and I'm sure anybody that loves this franchise, it looks like more of what you love. Definitely a lot of action, and it's almost like the character's like an action movie star, so it does look like a decent game for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll do well for sure.
Yeah, and then the next one it has me pretty questioning everything. Is called The Quiet Man, I believe.
Yes, I was just gonna say we need to talk about The Quiet Man.
I don't know how I feel about this game, honestly, man.
It looks pretty interesting. I would say it looks pretty awesome.
Really?
If none of you have seen this, I would say you should check it out. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. For anybody who's seen A Quiet Place, that most recent kind of horror-esque type movie, where they play with sound and stuff.
Right.
I feel like they're gonna pull that off in this game, and it's going to be pretty interesting, where it's, you know what I mean, sound is going to play a huge part of this game, because the character you're playing is deaf. So
obviously this first part is live action.
Yeah, and then it switches straight to gameplay though, which almost looks it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, I guess it's not that hard to tell, but I mean, it's pretty crazy. Right here, it's about to switch in game.
Which I like that they did that. I mean, it looks really cool. I like that they did that. It reminds me of the old games, way back in the day, that used to have actual live action cutscenes, but then there would be the gameplay, obviously. There was this one for Sega Genesis that was a tunnel sewer racer shooter game, and it always had these live action cutscenes. That looked really cool.
What about Metro Race, or what was that old race game that had? That one guy that was always like, "Let's get
Oh,
races."
with Lance Boyle, Mega Racer.
Yeah, Mega
Mega
Race.
Race, yeah, I have like all three of those actually. I bought them on Steam. Those
That's
are
the first game I can remember though that had like an actual live person.
right,
Other
kind of
than
like that, and it's kind of like a throwback to that to me.
yeah,
So this game looks interesting. I need to see more about it. I genuinely need to see more about it before I like pass judgment or make decisions on it. But it could, in the very least, probably hold my attention. And last but definitely not least, in the conference, was the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. And whoa, uh-oh. I may have just actually overridden my kids' movie and shot this out to the TV. Anyway, the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer is... the only thing that bugged me about this trailer, it is a slightly extended, like very slightly extended, cut of the same exact trailer that we saw in Microsoft's conference. And there wasn't anything really new there, or really special. And there's a couple things I noticed about this trailer. There were some wonky sound effects, like sound effects that weren't finished. And the girl from Tangled definitely doesn't have any voice lines, and I guarantee you it's because her voice actor like hasn't done the lines yet. So they're definitely not done with this game, which makes me think like that this is why they pushed it back, because it's not done at all. But it overall, like, I gotta say, I'm so excited for Kingdom Hearts. So it just, yeah, I can't say enough about it. I've waited 12 years for this.
I'm excited for this game. I've only ever played a couple of Kingdom Hearts. I know you're a huger fan than I, but
Oh yeah.
this game right here, I think, is going to be my jumping point, where I'm just going to be like, I'm going to give it a shot and go with it.
Oh hey, and I mean, obviously it's gonna be available on Xbox One and
with it coming to Xbox, that's
and
huge
PS4.
thing.
Right, that's a huge part of the fan base that may have gotten, blocked off from the series, because not all of us own a 3DS and a PSP Vita or whatever, play all these 900 titles that the Kingdom Hearts series has. But this will be a good jumping in point for people. It's actually the end of the Keyblade trilogy, like the main Sora. This is the last chapter in his story, and obviously they're not going to quit making Kingdom Hearts games. But
Well, I can guarantee it now that they've allowed Xbox to have this game, that they're definitely going to pull back in all the originals. Like, watch, I guarantee it. I mean, whether it's like 2 or 3 years from now,
that would be awesome.
We're gonna get all of the Kingdom Hearts remastered for Xbox, or whatever the next generation of console will probably be.
That would be really cool.
It's gonna happen.
So that was the last trailer for Square Enix's conference, and it was very good. Now here's my really big gripe with the Square Enix conference. Where the hell is Final Fantasy VII? I know that they had some development issues, and with the company they're working with, and whatever, I get it, but bring something to the table. It's been 2 years and we have nothing from them. Like, just like quick little bit of gameplay, a little bit of something, a little bit of a cutscene, and maybe they're saving it for the Sony conference. It could be possible that they're saving it for the Sony conference, but I'm so pissed right now that they didn't show it off.
I'm gonna make a projection right now to say that they probably have nothing. They probably have nothing, and they're probably gonna just give some little snippet of maybe next year or something. I don't even know how they could even appease everybody.
Literally, the last time they said anything about this game to everybody is all they gave us was a screenshot. It wasn't even like a screenshot. I think it was like concept art, honestly. And they were like, "Here you go. Let's tide you over with this. Sorry, guys." And so this is turning into another Final Fantasy 15, where this is going to take 10 years to complete. They know ever since they announced it that everybody's expecting them to show it off. Like everybody's expecting it. So that it better be at the Sony conference. And if it's not, I don't know, Square Enix. I'm disappointed and hurt. By them. And overall, I mean, this wasn't entertaining like Bethesda's conference. It wasn't even live like Microsoft's conference. There was nobody really speaking. All in all, I would say out of every conference so far, EA did better than Square Enix, and that's saying something. Like, EA's conference was like literally for investors. Like, you could tell it was not for the gamers; it was for the investors, and they still did a better job. So overall, like I said, horrible con for Square Enix. Maybe next year you'll pull it together, but thankfully, we have a lot of other great conferences to look forward to, and we have a lot of other games to look at. So,
Yeah, just a quick, little side note there, Square Enix. When another conference is highlighting 3 of your games, you can probably cut those out of your 29-minute video and make it probably 15
make it
minutes
like
less.
7.
Yeah. Just as a side note for next time.
For sure. But anyways, guys, did you have any other final thoughts, Tyfly?
No, I think that was it. I mean, the biggest takeaway here was, very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I say that the whole conference was shit, I mean, there was really no conference. It was just a live video with a few people talking here and there, and I mean, they could have just waited. They could have just not shown the video and just waited until E3 altogether.
Yeah.
I know that they have to because it's kind of one of those things in the industry where everybody does something.
Sure.
I mean, come on.
But I mean, the thing is, though, you don't have to though. Like Nintendo is famous for doing this. Like Nintendo usually doesn't even do E3. They just hold their own conference. They're like, "Yep, we're gonna go do the Nintendo thing." So, see ya.
The Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, the Nintendo Direct, and everybody knows like Nintendo just doesn't really care, and so that's I just think it was a mistake on their part. But anyways, that's it for today's video, or for this coverage of the Square Enix conference, guys. Make sure and stay tuned. We are going to be going over the Microsoft conference from yesterday and the Bethesda conference, which just has some really, really great announcements. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys again probably later today. So,
all right, guys, thanks for watching, and always remember, stay awesome.